Welcome back to Stoic Vibe, your space to master the art of calm strength and unshakable self-worth. If you're ready to stop chasing validation and start commanding respect, you're exactly where you need to be. Have you ever wondered why some people naturally command respect while others constantly get overlooked, no matter how hard they try? What if I told you, using timeless Stoic principles, you could become so valuable that others beg for your attention, respect, and time? Today, I'm giving you 10 powerful Stoic strategies to make them value you like never before. Let's dive straight in. Number 1 is master the art of indifference. When you stop desperately seeking approval from others, you start to truly stand out. Many people spend their whole lives worrying about what others think of them. They want to be liked, accepted, and praised. But the truth is, the more you chase approval, the less confident you seem. People can sense when you are trying too hard, and it actually makes them respect you less. Marcus Aurelius, a wise Roman emperor and philosopher, once said, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." What he meant is simple. Deep down, we value ourselves. We know our own dreams, feelings, and thoughts. Yet, strangely, we let the opinions of others have more power over us than our own beliefs. This habit can make us weak and unsure. When you stop caring so much about what others think, you take back your power. You stop living by someone else's rules and start living by your own. You make choices based on what feels right to you, not what will win you approval. As a result, you become more authentic, more real. And interestingly, when you become real and true to yourself, people start noticing you. They admire your confidence and strength. They may even start seeking your approval instead. This change does not happen overnight. It takes practice to stop caring so much. Start by trusting yourself more. Remind yourself that not everyone's opinion matters. Some people will never like you, no matter what you do, and that's okay. What matters most is that you like yourself. Also, remember that many people are too busy worrying about their own lives to spend much time thinking about you. You might think everyone is judging you, but in reality, most people are focused on their own problems. When you let go of the need to be approved by everyone, you feel lighter and freer. You can take risks, follow your passions, and express yourself without fear. This is how you grow, succeed, and truly shine. In the end, the message is simple. Stop chasing approval. Focus on being true to yourself. As Marcus Aurelius showed, your own opinion of yourself is the one that matters the most. When you stop caring so much, that's when people start caring, and that's when you really stand out. Number 2 is prioritize inner excellence over outer validation. Focus on becoming excellent, not just being seen as excellent. In today's world, many people care more about appearances than real skills. They want to look successful, smart, or talented, even if they are not. But true success doesn't come from showing off. It comes from working hard on yourself, even when no one is watching. The ancient philosopher Epictetus gave wise advice: first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. This means you must first decide what kind of person you want to become. Do you want to be strong, wise, kind, or skilled? Once you are clear about that, you must take action every day to reach it. Dreams and plans mean nothing without effort. Only by doing the hard work can you truly become the person you want to be. Excellence is not loud. It doesn't need to shout for attention. Real excellence quietly demands respect. People notice someone who is truly good at what they do, even if that person doesn't brag about it. Their actions, their results, and their character speak louder than any words. Over time, excellence builds a strong reputation that cannot be faked. Trying to appear excellent without putting in the work is like building a house with no strong foundation. It may look nice for a little while, but it will eventually fall apart. On the other hand, focusing on real growth, learning, practicing, improving, is like building with strong bricks. It lasts a lifetime. It's important to remember that true excellence is a private journey. Sometimes, no one will see your hard work. You may not get praise or recognition right away. But that's okay. You are not doing it for applause. You are doing it because you have chosen a higher standard for yourself. At the right time, your efforts will shine. People will respect you not because you demanded their respect, but because you earned it. And even if no one notices, you will have something even greater: self-respect and inner pride. So, focus on the important things: your actions, your discipline, your growth. Forget about impressing others. Become excellent because it is the right thing to do. As Epictetus taught, decide what you want to be, then take the steps to become it. Excellence will quietly, but powerfully, speak for you. Number 3 is speak less, say more. Words are cheap. Anyone can talk, make promises, or give opinions. But real value comes from actions, not empty words. In Stoic philosophy, there is a deep respect for silence and careful speech. A true Stoic knows that speaking is powerful, but only when it is necessary and meaningful. They believe you should only speak if your words improve the silence. In a world full of noise, endless talking, shouting, and showing off, silence has become rare and powerful. When you choose your words carefully and speak less, you stand out. People will notice that when you speak, it matters. You are not speaking just to fill the air or get attention. You are speaking because you have something valuable to say. More importantly, your actions should speak louder than your voice. What you do says far more about you than what you say. Promises are easy to make, but results are harder to deliver. If you quietly focus on your work, your discipline, and your goals, people will start to notice, without you having to say a word. When you act with purpose and integrity, you build a reputation of strength and trust. People will lean in to listen to you, not because you demand it, but because your actions have earned their attention. They will want to know the thoughts of someone who proves their worth through deeds, not just talk. In a noisy world, your silence will carry more weight than all the noise around you. It will show that you have control over yourself, your emotions, your ego, and your desires. It will show that you are not desperate for approval or attention. And that quiet confidence will make you truly powerful. Remember, anyone can speak. But not everyone's words have value. If you want to be truly respected, speak less and do more. Let your work, your character, and your results speak for you. And when you do speak, let it be like a rare and precious gift, something that adds meaning and strength to the moment. In the end, it is better to be known for what you do, not for what you say. Let your silence be full of meaning, and let your actions create an echo that speaks louder than any words ever could. Number 4 is control your reactions, not their actions. People will test you. Life will test you. Challenges, criticism, unfair treatment, all of these are part of the journey. You cannot always control what happens around you, but you can always control how you react. That is where your true power lies. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This means that much of our fear, stress, and pain comes not from real problems, but from the way we think about them. We imagine the worst, we replay insults in our heads, and we create fear where there could be calm. If we learn to control our minds, we can suffer less and live stronger, more peaceful lives. When people test you, by being rude, unfair, or difficult, you have a choice. You can react with anger, frustration, or sadness. Or you can stay calm and steady, refusing to let them shake you. Your reaction shows your strength. Losing control shows weakness, but staying calm shows mastery over yourself. Life will also throw difficulties at you. Sudden problems, failures, or losses. Again, your reaction matters more than the event itself. You cannot always change what happens, but you can always decide how to respond. A strong mind does not panic. It observes, thinks, and acts wisely. When you control yourself, you control the room. People feel your calm energy. They see that you are not easily shaken. They respect you more. In tough situations, they look to you for guidance. Why? Because in a world full of emotional reactions, a calm and steady person becomes a rare and powerful presence. Self-control is not about pretending to feel nothing. It's about feeling everything: anger, fear, sadness, but choosing not to let those feelings control you. It's about creating space between what happens and how you respond. The next time someone tests you or life challenges you, remember Seneca's words. Much of the suffering is in your imagination. Reality is often simpler and easier to handle when you stay present and calm. Master yourself first. Focus on your inner world. If you win that battle, no outer challenge can defeat you. Control yourself, and you will quietly control the room, the situation, and eventually your own destiny. Number 5 is be unavailable, strategically. Don't always be accessible. In today's world, people are used to quick replies, constant availability, and instant attention. But when you are always available, you risk losing your value in the eyes of others. Scarcity creates value. When something is rare, it is treasured. When something is always there, it is often taken for granted. A wise Stoic understands this deeply. Time and energy are two of the most precious things you have. Once they are spent, you cannot get them back. That's why a Stoic is careful about how they spend their time and who they give their energy to. They do not give away their attention freely to everyone and everything. They choose wisely. When you are too available, people may start to take you lightly. They may expect you to always be there, always say yes, always solve their problems. But if you pull back a little, not in a rude way, but in a respectful and deliberate way, you remind people that your time and attention are valuable. You show them that you are not someone who can be easily demanded or controlled. When you give them less of you, something interesting happens. They start craving more. They start to value the moments when you do give your time. They listen more carefully when you speak. They appreciate your presence more when you are around. Being less accessible does not mean you isolate yourself or become cold. It means you set clear boundaries. It means you protect your focus, your peace, and your goals. It means you prioritize quality over quantity. Fewer conversations, but deeper ones. Fewer commitments, but stronger ones. This way of living also helps you. It gives you more time for self-growth, reflection, and meaningful work. You stop wasting energy on things that do not matter. You start investing your time where it truly counts, on your dreams, your family, your true friends, and your inner peace. In the end, remember, your time and energy are treasures, not things to be given away carelessly. Value them, and others will too. Create a little distance, and you will find that respect and appreciation grow naturally. A Stoic knows, when you are less available, you are more valued. Number 6 is master emotional detachment. Do not attach your emotions to outcomes, compliments, or criticisms. When you let your happiness depend on results or the opinions of others, you give away your power. You allow outside events to control your inner peace. But a wise person knows that true strength comes from within, not from what happens around them. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is a powerful reminder. You cannot always control the events in your life. Sometimes things will go well, sometimes they won't. People will praise you, and sometimes they will criticize you unfairly. But none of these things should shake your spirit. When you are attached to outcomes, you are always riding an emotional roller coaster. If you win, you feel happy. If you lose, you feel broken. If someone praises you, you feel worthy. If someone criticizes you, you feel crushed. This is no way to live. It makes you a slave to things outside your control. Instead, practice indifference to outcomes. This does not mean you stop caring about doing your best. It means you care about your effort, your character, and your discipline, not about whether people notice or reward you. You learn to act well and wisely, and then you let go of the results. This kind of mindset makes you irresistible. Why? Because most people are easily shaken by praise and blame. They chase approval and run from criticism. But when you remain steady, people admire you. They are drawn to your calm, your confidence, and your quiet power. You become someone who cannot be easily manipulated, someone who is deeply free. Indifference is not coldness, it is inner strength. You feel emotions, but you do not let them control you. You celebrate victories without arrogance, and you accept failures without despair. You listen to feedback, but you do not let it define your worth. In the end, the real goal is freedom. Freedom from the highs and lows created by other people's opinions or the ups and downs of life. When you master your reactions, you master your life. Stay steady, stay focused on what you can control, and watch how your quiet confidence will inspire and attract others naturally. Number 7 is cultivate unshakable self-respect. Never lower your standards for anyone. Your standards reflect how you see and value yourself. When you lower them to please others, you are telling the world, and yourself, that your worth depends on their approval. But that's not true. Your worth comes from within. You teach people how to treat you by the way you treat yourself. People are always watching, even when you think they're not. They mirror your behavior. If you respect yourself, they're more likely to respect you. If you carry yourself with quiet confidence and clear boundaries, others notice. They feel your energy. You don't need to shout or demand attention. Just walk with silent dignity, and they will either rise to meet your level or fall away. When you hold strong standards in how you speak, how you live, and what you accept, you naturally attract better situations and people. Those who cannot match your standards will either grow to meet them or slowly drift away. And that's okay. Not everyone is meant to stay. Your peace is more important than keeping people who don't value it. This is not about arrogance or thinking you're better than others. It's about self-respect. It's about knowing what you deserve and refusing to settle for less. When you compromise too often, you lose a piece of yourself each time. But when you stay true to your values, you protect your spirit, your goals, and your future. People may test your boundaries. They may push you to accept less, to be more flexible, or to let things slide. But if you always give in, you teach them that your boundaries don't matter. Instead, stand firm. The right people will understand. The wrong ones will walk away, and that's not a loss. That's protection. In the end, remember this: you are the gatekeeper of your life. You decide who has access to your time, your energy, and your heart. Don't give away that access to those who haven't earned it. Keep your standards high, your circle small, and your dignity untouched. When you do that, people feel it. They respect it. And they either adjust themselves to stay in your life, or they lose the privilege of being in it. That is the quiet power of self-respect. Number 8 is build, don't boast. A Stoic builds silently. In a world where everyone wants to announce their success, share every achievement, and receive constant validation, the Stoic knows that true strength comes from within. There is no need to brag, boast, or shout about every accomplishment. The Stoic understands that real power is shown through consistent action, not constant attention. When you focus on your work and let it speak for itself, you create something far more valuable than mere words. Words are easy. Anyone can say they are doing great. Anyone can claim they are successful. But actions take time, discipline, and a quiet commitment. A Stoic's work speaks volumes, even in silence. There's beauty in doing the work, day after day, without needing to announce it to the world. Every step you take toward your goal, no matter how small, adds up to something great. You don't need to tell others about every little victory. Your success will be visible in the results, in the quality of your work, in the way people look at you and recognize your effort. Your life becomes the loudest flex in the room without you ever saying a word. The person who quietly works, who doesn't need the spotlight, becomes the one who commands the most respect. They don't need to prove anything because their results do the talking. Their focus, their discipline, their determination speak louder than any boast ever could. This silent building doesn't just apply to work or career achievements, it applies to character, too. The Stoic builds their inner strength with the same quiet focus. They build patience, humility, and wisdom, not for recognition, but for their own growth. When you focus on being your best self without seeking validation, you develop a presence that others can't ignore. The Stoic understands that greatness doesn't need to be broadcasted. It doesn't need to be shouted for everyone to hear. When you act with purpose, with consistency, and without the need for praise, you create something far more powerful than any applause or compliment. You create a legacy, a lasting impact, and a life that speaks for itself. In the end, let your work, your actions, and your life be the testament to your success. Let others notice your strength, your results, and your quiet power. The Stoic's true flex is not in the noise they make, but in the silent foundation they build. Number 9 is practice delayed gratification. A Stoic resists short-term pleasures for long-term greatness. In a world constantly pushing us toward instant gratification, the Stoic understands that true success and fulfillment don't come from quick fixes. Instead, greatness is built on consistent effort, patience, and an unwavering commitment to long-term goals. While others chase fleeting pleasures, the Stoic focuses on what will bring lasting value, not just momentary satisfaction. The path of resisting short-term pleasures can be difficult. The pull of immediate rewards, the quick indulgence, the rush of excitement, the easy escape, can seem tempting. Yet, the Stoic knows that these distractions often lead to regret, while sustained effort toward a greater purpose leads to lasting fulfillment. They choose delayed gratification, understanding that what they're working toward is far more meaningful and rewarding than the fleeting joys of the present moment. By choosing this path, you will frustrate the impulsive. The impulsive, driven by short-term desires, will not understand your choices. They will wonder why you resist the easy pleasures they indulge in. They might try to convince you that you're missing out, but the Stoic remains unmoved. They see the bigger picture, recognizing that true strength lies in the ability to say no to the temptations of the moment in order to stay on course for something greater. You will also confuse the desperate. The desperate are constantly searching for shortcuts, for quick solutions, for the fast track to success or happiness. They cannot fathom why you don't jump at every opportunity that comes your way. They see the world as a place of urgent, fast-moving needs, while the Stoic sees it as a place to navigate with calm and purpose. In the face of their confusion, the Stoic remains focused, knowing that slow and steady progress will always surpass the quick, shallow pursuits of the desperate. But through your patience and resolve, you will attract the truly valuable. Those who understand the value of hard work, discipline, and long-term vision will recognize your dedication. They will respect your ability to resist the pull of short-term pleasures and stay focused on your goals. These people will be drawn to your steady strength, your commitment, and your wisdom. In the end, the Stoic knows that long-term greatness is earned through resilience, patience, and the ability to resist fleeting temptations. By focusing on what truly matters, you will build a life that is not only successful but meaningful. Number 10 is live by virtue, not by opinion. Your values are your compass. In a world full of distractions, opinions, and pressures, knowing what you stand for is what guides you. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, lived by one core principle: virtue over vanity. For him, the pursuit of virtue, courage, justice, wisdom, and temperance was the highest law to live by. These qualities were his compass, guiding his decisions, actions, and life. When you anchor yourself to virtue, you create an inner strength that cannot be shaken by the changing tides of life. Courage allows you to face challenges head-on, even when the path is difficult or uncertain. Justice keeps you aligned with fairness and moral integrity, ensuring your actions are guided by what is right. Wisdom helps you make thoughtful decisions, understanding the deeper truths of life and human nature. Temperance teaches you balance and self-control, preventing you from being swayed by fleeting desires or impulses. These virtues form the foundation of a life well lived. And when you live according to these principles, you become immovable. No matter the external pressures, no matter the opinions of others, you remain steadfast. You know what is truly important, and you act in alignment with those values. This creates a sense of calm and clarity, something that others will notice and respect. People are naturally drawn to strength, not in the form of force or dominance, but in the quiet confidence that comes from living authentically. When you prioritize virtue over vanity, your life becomes a living example of integrity. You don't need to shout about your values or try to impress others with superficial achievements. Your actions, your calm, and your consistency speak for themselves. In a world that often values appearance and superficial success, a life rooted in virtue stands out. Those who recognize the value of true strength will gravitate toward you. They will seek your wisdom, your guidance, and your steady presence. They will admire the clarity with which you move through life, unwavering in your commitment to what is right. Living by your values creates a life that is not only respected but deeply meaningful. And in the end, it is your virtue, not your vanity, that will leave a lasting impact on the world around you. Remember, those who chase validation remain empty. Those who embody virtue become magnets for true respect. If today's strategy spoke to you, make sure to like, subscribe, and join the Stoic Vibe community, where we choose mastery over mediocrity every single day. And as Marcus Aurelius reminds us, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Until next time, stay calm, stay strong, stay stoic. Welcome to Stoic Vibe, where ancient wisdom meets modern life. Are you waking up at 4 a.m. and wondering what it means, or what to do with that sacred silence before the world stirs? You're not alone. In fact, many great Stoics believed that the early morning was a powerful time for self-mastery, clarity, and purpose. So if you're waking up early, by choice or by chance, here are 10 Stoic habits you can adopt to transform your mornings and, ultimately, your life. Habit 1 is begin with inner stillness. In the teachings of the Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, there is a powerful reminder that the first moments of your day must belong to you and you alone, not to the world, not to your phone, not to social media, and certainly not to the demands of others. These early minutes, often before the sun rises, hold a special kind of stillness that the Stoics saw as sacred. They believed that the mind, fresh from sleep and untouched by the chaos of daily life, was closest to its natural state in these moments. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, repeatedly told himself to return to his inner citadel, a fortress of calm and reason within the soul where the noise of the world could not reach. This space within, accessed through silence, reflection, or even mindful breathing, is where clarity is born. At 4 a.m., before texts flood in, before the news cycle begins, and before the world begins its constant tug-of-war for your attention, there exists a golden opportunity. Instead of scrolling through endless posts or diving into tasks, the Stoics would urge you to sit. Just sit. Breathe deeply. Let your thoughts come and go. Observe, but do not react. This small act of self-possession, done consistently, can sharpen your mind and balance your emotions like few other habits can. It is in this quiet that you meet yourself, your real self, not the version shaped by expectations, pressure, or distraction. In a society that celebrates busyness and thrives on constant input, this simple, intentional beginning offers a radical alternative, one rooted in control, awareness, and calm. It allows you to start the day from a place of strength rather than stress. You set your direction, instead of being swept away by everyone else's. The discipline of claiming the first moments of the day for yourself gives you an edge, mentally, emotionally, even spiritually. Over time, it becomes a habit of deep resilience, allowing you to face chaos without becoming chaotic. In this silence, there is truth. In this pause, there is power. And in this daily return to your own inner citadel, there is freedom, the kind of freedom that doesn't depend on circumstances, but on the choice to begin with yourself every single day. Habit 2 is reflect on control. One of the most powerful and enduring teachings of Stoic philosophy is the idea that we should focus only on what we can control and release everything else. This principle, taught by great Stoic minds like Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius, serves as a daily anchor for those who seek inner peace and mental clarity in a chaotic world. At the heart of this teaching is a simple but transformative question: what is mine to influence today, and what must I release? Starting each day, especially in the early, undisturbed hours like 4 a.m., with this reflection can have a profound impact on your mindset. At that time, the world is still quiet. No messages are flooding your phone, no news headlines are demanding your emotional reaction, and no expectations are being placed upon you. In that silence, you are free to center yourself and prepare your mind to move through the day with purpose, not panic. This practice can take many forms. Some choose to sit quietly in thought, while others prefer to journal their intentions. Both are valid paths to self-awareness and discipline. As you think about what is within your control, your effort, your attitude, your words, your actions, you also begin to recognize the many things that are not. How others behave, the outcomes of your efforts, unexpected challenges, or changes in circumstance. By identifying this difference clearly, you train yourself to invest your limited mental and emotional energy where it truly matters, and to let go of what only drains and distracts. This mental discipline does not numb you to the world, but instead empowers you to engage with it wisely. If you're facing stress at work, uncertainty in relationships, or anxiety about the future, remember that you cannot always change what happens, but you can always choose how to respond. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This idea, when practiced consistently in those early hours, reshapes your entire approach to life. You stop being ruled by fear or frustration and begin acting with calm, focused intention. The habit of early morning reflection builds a habit of strength. It's not about having control over everything. It's about knowing what is yours to shape and having the courage to let the rest go. In doing so, you begin each day not as a victim of circumstance but as an author of your response, grounded in clarity and purpose. Over time, this simple practice becomes a way of life, a quiet but unshakable strength that helps you meet the chaos of the world with composure, confidence, and wisdom. Habit 3 is rehearse the day, premeditatio malorum. The Stoics practiced a powerful mental exercise known as premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils, not as an act of pessimism, but as a tool for cultivating calm preparedness and inner resilience. This ancient practice involves envisioning possible challenges, discomforts, or setbacks before they happen, so that when adversity inevitably arrives, it doesn't destabilize you. At 4 a.m., in the stillness of early morning, this practice becomes especially potent. In that hour of silence, when the world hasn't yet demanded your attention, you have the space to calmly walk through your coming day and anticipate potential difficulties. What might go wrong at work? What emotions might test your patience? Who might frustrate you, and what uncertainties might surface? Rather than being caught off guard later, you calmly explore these scenarios now, not to scare yourself, but to rehearse your response. It is not about dreading the worst, but preparing your mind to stay grounded when things don't go as planned. Like a warrior sharpening their blade before battle, you are strengthening your mindset before entering the unpredictable arena of daily life. This mental rehearsal helps you respond rather than react. When we expect everything to go smoothly, even minor disruptions feel like disasters. But when we've already thought through difficulties with composure, they lose their power to shock or shake us. Seneca, one of the great Stoic minds, said, "He who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary." This reminds us that excessive worry without purpose is wasted pain, but intentional preparation is a source of strength. Premeditatio malorum teaches you to expect obstacles, not because you're negative, but because life is unpredictable and you refuse to be controlled by that unpredictability. Instead, you train yourself to meet each moment with clarity and control. This early morning practice transforms anxiety into awareness and fear into foresight. It allows you to approach your day with what the Stoics called strategic calm. You're not avoiding discomfort, you're meeting it in advance, on your own terms, before it has a chance to overwhelm you. Over time, this habit builds a mental toughness that is quiet but unshakable. You'll begin to notice that fewer things rattle you, that frustration gives way to patience, and that setbacks no longer ruin your rhythm. You become, like the Stoics intended, someone who is unbreakable not because life is easy, but because your mind is ready. And that readiness, cultivated at 4 a.m. in solitude and silence, is your greatest armor. Habit 4 is align with purpose. At 4 a.m., while the world is still cloaked in silence and the mind unburdened by noise, there lies a profound opportunity to shape the direction of your entire day with a single intentional question: what virtue will I embody today? Will it be courage in the face of fear, patience amid irritation, discipline when distraction calls, or perhaps wisdom in moments that require calm judgment? The Stoics taught that life becomes meaningful when it is guided by virtue, by qualities that elevate us beyond impulse, reaction, or external validation. Stoicism is often misunderstood as the suppression of emotion, but in truth, it is about mastering our inner world so we can act with clarity and purpose. It is not coldness, but conscious direction. To begin the day by selecting a virtue is to declare to yourself that you will not drift through life passively, you will lead it. This quiet ritual, done before the sun rises and before the world imposes its chaos, plants a seed of intention in the mind. Write it down. Let the words have weight. Visualize situations where that chosen virtue will be tested, and imagine yourself responding with strength and grace. If you choose patience, picture the traffic, the difficult conversation, the delay, and see yourself breathing through it. If you choose discipline, envision the tasks you must complete, the temptations to procrastinate, and the focus you will summon instead. This simple act, one word, one virtue, serves as a compass. When challenges appear, and they always do, you're not left grasping for direction. You already have your guide. By centering your day around a virtue, you shift from being reactive to being deliberate. You live with depth, not just speed. You respond with integrity, not just instinct. And in doing so, you begin to lead your own life instead of letting circumstances lead you. This habit, small though it may seem, gives your day structure beneath the surface. It weaves meaning into your decisions and brings a kind of sacredness to even the most mundane tasks. You are no longer just going through the motions, you are practicing a way of being. In a world filled with distraction and noise, this quiet morning act becomes your inner sanctuary. It's where intention is born. It's where you remind yourself who you are and who you strive to become. And when practiced daily, it becomes a quiet revolution of the self, one that builds character, resilience, and a life lived on purpose. Habit 5 is practice voluntary discomfort. The Stoics deeply understood that comfort can be a deceptive trap, softening the mind and spirit, while discomfort, when embraced intentionally, can be a forge for inner strength. They believed that exposing yourself to mild discomfort wasn't about self-inflicted suffering or denial for its own sake, but a form of mental training to prepare for life's inevitable hardships. At 4 a.m., when the world is still quiet and your willpower is at its peak, this philosophy can take shape in simple yet powerful acts. Taking a cold shower, stepping into an early workout when every part of you craves more sleep, or choosing to forego a daily luxury like coffee, warm blankets, or screen time. The intention is not to punish yourself, but to remind yourself that comfort is optional and that strength is something you build, not something you're given. As Musonius Rufus, one of the lesser-known but deeply respected Stoic teachers, wisely put it, practice yourself, for heaven's sake, in little things. Those little things, waking before the sun, enduring the cold, resisting the easy path, are what cultivate discipline in layers. They condition your mind to respond with resilience when true adversity strikes. In moments of unexpected challenge, sickness, loss, failure, betrayal, your training shows. You don't crumble. You breathe, you adapt, you endure. Discomfort becomes familiar, not frightening. And this resilience is not loud or showy. It's quiet and unshakable, the kind that stands firm when others fall apart. In today's comfort-seeking culture, where convenience is king and even slight inconvenience is met with frustration, this kind of self-discipline is rare, and therefore powerful. Every cold shower becomes more than just a physical jolt. It's a message to yourself that you can choose hardship and survive it. Every skipped indulgence reminds you that you are not ruled by cravings. Every early morning challenge you conquer builds a psychological reserve of confidence and toughness. By choosing discomfort intentionally, you reclaim control over your responses, your habits, and your inner world. This is not about rejecting joy or pleasure. It's about making sure you're not owned by them. When you train your body and mind in the early hours of the day, you sharpen your edge, so when life throws its unexpected blows, you meet them with a calm, conditioned strength. You become the kind of person who doesn't need ideal circumstances to function. You've trained yourself to be resilient in any circumstance. And in doing so, you embody one of the core truths of Stoic wisdom. The path to freedom begins with self-mastery. Habit 6 is embrace the morning with gratitude. The Stoics understood the power of gratitude and its ability to transform one's mindset, creating a deep sense of peace and contentment regardless of external circumstances. They recognized that, in a world that often pushes us to seek more, it's easy to forget the value of what we already have. This is why they emphasized the importance of practicing gratitude, not just as an occasional reflection but as a daily habit. At 4 a.m., when the world is still asleep and the mind is free from the clutter of the day, taking a moment to express thanks for your life can be incredibly grounding. This isn't about grandiose gestures of thanks, but rather a quiet acknowledgement of the blessings that are already part of your life. Your health, your relationships, the opportunities ahead, and even the challenges that shape your growth. It's about embracing the fullness of your life in its current form, before the distractions and demands of the day take over. A gratitude practice in the early morning doesn't just lift your mood, it shifts your perspective entirely. When you begin your day with appreciation, you're not caught up in what's lacking or what's wrong. Instead, you start from a place of abundance, recognizing that you already possess much of what truly matters. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, taught that true wealth is not measured by material possessions but by the quality of our inner lives and the richness of our relationships. What you have in the present moment, your health, your ability to think, your ability to choose how to respond to life, are the truest forms of wealth. When you take time each morning to reflect on these things, you align yourself with this Stoic view, shifting your focus from scarcity to abundance. This simple act of gratitude, done each morning, has a ripple effect throughout your day. It becomes a lens through which you view everything. The challenges that might otherwise seem overwhelming become opportunities for growth, and the people you encounter are seen as partners in your shared journey, not obstacles or annoyances. Gratitude allows you to embrace the present, with all of its imperfections, instead of constantly chasing after a future that may never arrive. During difficult times, this practice becomes even more powerful. In moments of adversity, it's easy to feel as though everything is working against you, but by grounding yourself in gratitude, you tap into a well of strength that helps you navigate those moments with greater clarity and grace. Gratitude doesn't ignore life's challenges, it simply shifts the focus to what you can appreciate, even in the midst of them. It fosters resilience, emotional balance, and a deeper connection to the present moment. In a world that often encourages comparison, competition, and discontent, a morning gratitude habit becomes a revolutionary act. It allows you to start your day centered in peace, ready to face whatever comes with a heart full of appreciation. Through this practice, you not only enrich your life but also begin to embody one of the Stoics' greatest teachings, that true wealth lies not in what you acquire, but in what you already possess. Habit 7 is focus on small wins. Instead of setting grand, overwhelming goals that can often feel unattainable or intimidating, the Stoics recommended breaking your day down into small, manageable tasks that build momentum and create a sense of accomplishment. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, captured this Stoic wisdom with the insight that the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This statement embodies the Stoic belief that obstacles are not roadblocks but opportunities for progress. The key is to approach challenges not as barriers but as pathways to growth. Each morning, rather than focusing on the grand vision of your entire day or a distant goal, focus on small, achievable tasks that you can tackle with intention and clarity. These tasks can be as simple as making your bed, meditating for 5 minutes, or drinking water first thing upon waking. These small actions may seem trivial at first, but in reality, they serve as the foundation for greater accomplishments. By taking care of these seemingly insignificant tasks, you set the tone for the rest of the day, building a sense of order, discipline, and confidence. Small wins like these compound throughout the day, providing the psychological momentum needed to approach larger, more complex challenges with a calm and purposeful mindset. Over time, these simple acts of discipline become habits, and habits form the bedrock of a resilient and purposeful life. When you break down your day into smaller, more manageable pieces, you also make the seemingly impossible tasks appear more achievable. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by an entire to-do list, you start with one task. Each one completed builds your sense of competence and control. This approach creates a positive feedback loop. Completing small goals boosts your motivation and belief in your ability to overcome obstacles, which in turn encourages you to take on bigger challenges. Moreover, these small tasks often act as the groundwork for deeper internal growth. For instance, by setting the intention to meditate for 5 minutes, you not only gain the immediate benefit of quieting your mind, but also cultivate mental clarity and focus, which will serve you throughout the day. Drinking water in the morning might seem trivial, but it sets a tone of self-care that carries you into the next task, and so on. The Stoic mindset teaches that you don't need to accomplish everything at once to make progress. The key is to embrace the process, to understand that every small action taken toward your goal is a step closer to becoming who you want to be. As you build confidence through small wins, you start to develop a deeper sense of agency over your life. This practice of taking small steps transforms your approach to challenges, allowing you to face even the most overwhelming obstacles with a calm, resolute mindset. It reminds you that progress isn't always about taking giant leaps, but rather about moving forward, one step at a time, with intention and focus. Habit 8 is cultivate patience. Stoicism is deeply rooted in the belief that patience is a key virtue, one that often stands in stark contrast to the immediate gratification many of us seek in our fast-paced, instant-access world. In an age where we expect rapid results and constant progress, the Stoics teach us that true strength lies not in quick fixes or the ability to force outcomes, but in our capacity to endure hardship and delays with grace. This concept of patience is not about passivity or inaction, but rather about maintaining composure, clarity, and perseverance while life unfolds at its own pace. The Stoics, especially figures like Seneca and Epictetus, emphasized that the ability to remain patient in the face of adversity is a reflection of inner peace and mental fortitude. Each morning, you can begin to cultivate this virtue by resisting the urge to rush, push, or try to control everything around you. In a world that prizes efficiency and speed, it's easy to forget that not everything needs to happen immediately. When you wake up at 4 a.m., instead of being consumed with thoughts of what you need to do next or worrying about outcomes, take a step back and give yourself permission to simply be. You don't need to have everything figured out by the time the day starts. Instead, allow the morning to unfold naturally, without the pressure of rushing toward goals or forcing things to happen. This act of mental slowing down isn't about inactivity. It's about creating the space to allow things to unfold on their own time, knowing that not everything is under your control. Practicing patience each morning could also mean taking a moment to breathe deeply, meditating for a few minutes, or simply observing your surroundings without feeling the need to rush to the next task. These quiet, Reflective moments help you build the resilience needed to handle whatever delays or challenges might arise throughout the day. Whether you're waiting in a long line, dealing with a slow project at work, or encountering an unexpected setback, your ability to remain calm and composed reflects the internal peace you've nurtured through patience. The Stoics taught that the universe moves at its own pace, and by accepting this natural rhythm, you stop wasting energy on things you cannot control. Instead of reacting with frustration or impatience, you can choose to respond with grace and clarity, understanding that every delay or inconvenience is an opportunity to practice the virtue of patience. Over time, patience becomes a tool that empowers you to navigate life's unpredictability with a sense of calm. The more you practice it, the stronger and more resilient you become in the face of life's inevitable challenges. In cultivating this Stoic virtue, you learn to be present, accepting that everything has its own time, and that true strength lies in how you handle the waiting. Habit 9 is seek wisdom, not opinion. The Stoics made a clear distinction between wisdom and mere opinion, recognizing that true wisdom lies in understanding and reason, while opinions are often shaped by external influences and biases. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded by external noise, from social media updates to the endless stream of news, often before we've even fully woken up. However, the Stoics advised against immediately diving into this flood of information. Instead, they emphasized the importance of starting the day with intentionality, focusing on what truly contributes to your inner growth and clarity. As Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This principle highlights the importance of cultivating a mindset rooted in wisdom, rather than reacting impulsively to external circumstances. One of the most effective ways to do this is to spend the first moments of your day immersed in Stoic texts or other philosophical readings, rather than immediately scrolling through social media or consuming the latest news. At 4 a.m., before the demands of the world begin to infiltrate your mind, you have a unique opportunity to absorb wisdom that challenges your thinking, offers new insights, and aligns you with your true purpose. Reading Stoic works like Marcus Aurelius' Meditations or Epictetus' Discourses helps you internalize the timeless teachings of the Stoics, reminding you that wisdom comes from within, not from external sources. These texts encourage you to reflect on your own thoughts and actions, rather than adopting opinions or perspectives handed to you by others. In a society that often values quick opinions and emotional reactions over reasoned thought, taking the time to read something that encourages deep reflection sets a powerful tone for the rest of your day. When you start your morning with wisdom rather than noise, you equip yourself with the mental tools to navigate the challenges that will inevitably arise throughout the day. You're less likely to be swayed by fleeting opinions or external pressures because you've grounded yourself in the Stoic understanding that your thoughts and reactions are within your control. This practice not only fosters mental clarity but also provides you with a sense of purpose, helping you stay true to your values and goals despite the distractions and expectations of the world around you. By intentionally choosing to begin your day with philosophy, you reinforce the Stoic belief that our responses to external events, rather than the events themselves, define the quality of our lives. In doing so, you create a morning routine that encourages personal growth, self-discipline, and resilience, key components of living a meaningful and purpose-driven life. Habit 10 is practice self-reflection. The Stoics placed great importance on regular self-reflection as a means of personal growth and self-improvement. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most renowned Stoic philosophers, made it a daily practice to reflect on his actions each evening, asking himself, "What did I do well today? What could I have done better?" This simple yet powerful practice helped him maintain clarity and focus on his journey of self-mastery. It served as a tool for growth, allowing him to learn from his experiences, acknowledge his strengths, and identify areas where improvement was needed. While Marcus Aurelius typically reflected on his day in the evening, you can adopt this same practice in the morning, especially if you wake up early and have the mental clarity to do so. Morning reflection offers a unique opportunity to start the day with intention and purpose. Rather than diving straight into your routine or the demands of the outside world, take a few moments to reflect on your character, progress, and intentions. Ask yourself questions like, "Am I living according to my values today?" Or, "Am I practicing virtue in all my interactions?" Or, "Am I reacting emotionally to circumstances?" This self-reflection in the morning provides an opportunity to course-correct and set a clear path for the day ahead. It's not about self-criticism, but about gaining awareness of how you can live more in alignment with your deeper values and principles. By checking in with yourself in the morning, you create a foundation of self-awareness that will guide your actions and decisions throughout the day. This reflection also gives you the chance to reset if you find yourself veering off course. If you recognize areas where you've fallen short or failed to practice virtues like patience, humility, or courage, you can set a conscious intention to improve in those areas as you move through the day. For instance, if you find that you've been reactive to external circumstances in the past, remind yourself to focus on responding with thoughtfulness and equanimity rather than emotional impulsiveness. Morning self-reflection doesn't require a long, drawn-out process. It can be as simple as taking a few minutes to center yourself, reflect on your intentions, and set your mindset for the day. By making this practice a part of your morning routine, you equip yourself with the tools needed to approach each day with a sense of purpose and direction. It allows you to approach each moment with greater awareness and intentionality, making small improvements every day, which ultimately leads to long-term personal growth. This habit of self-reflection, like all Stoic practices, isn't about perfection. It's about progress and striving to live in alignment with the highest version of yourself. If you're waking up at 4 a.m., it's not a mistake, it's an opportunity. The Stoics believed that every day is a fresh chance to train your mind, sharpen your character, and live with intention. These 10 habits don't just fill time, they shape who you're becoming. Thanks for watching Stoic Vibe. If this resonated, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who's ready to own their mornings the Stoic way.